might work.
There we go.
It might work.
That might work.
Yeah.
Yo, you tuning into the Notion Podcast. This your boy Dizzy D Spill with my co-hosts in the building.
Jelani Evans.
Farmer Poe.
Hi, guys.
I didn't want to intervene.
No,
people would have got confused.
No, I started flipping pages.
Yeah, we back at it.
good.
You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, we got a lot to dive into, man. So there's notes and there's some real conversation, man. So matter of fact, let me get my notes.
Let me do that too.
Before we dive into it, man, how y'all feeling? How are things going with you guys? Business, life, ventures, and all that stuff, man.
I just told you, I'm spent, bro. This one project is kind of kicking my ass right now.
Yeah.
I mean, productive though. I can say that. Things are moving. Looking to execute on a couple different things. Trying to stay productive and moving in the right direction. Yeah.
I'm doing good, man. Garden is going well. I am, but these fucking squirrels, man. Squirrels, bro. Like they're continuing to do the same thing, and I found
you're losing is basically what you're saying,
bro. So what they do is you'll come out in the morning, bro, and it's the same bed. So it's only like one area. Well,
so they only attacking one area.
Well, they're attacking two beds, but they really doing damage like on one of them. So you'll come out in the morning and shit'll be thrown all everywhere. Like somebody just came and just ravaged and dug up everywhere and thrown shit stuff somewhere. And what they do is they're just digging and planting. I mean, not planting, but burying acorns. And then they're just digging shit. So they smell something. At first I was adding like compost to my bed. So I think they might have been smelling that too. But they just dig up areas and bury acorns. So
like there's no like real reason for why they doing it besides burying acorns.
Yeah.
So they fucking with you.
Yeah. So this
they really are the ops.
Yeah. So
because it's like, hey, is it night? Did he cut off the bed? He cut off the night lights. Let's go fucking shit up.
Remember that squirrel commercial that was it was like a car insurance commercial. They would do shit to like make people like wreck their car and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
That's what it kind of remind me of. They'd run out in the middle of the street, and then the car would like run off the road, and they'd give each other dap and run off.
Be laughing and shit.
I'm like, yo, I feel like they done made it to your garden.
Yeah. So I made a concoction of like some neem oil, and like some paprika, chili powder, and all that. Start trying to spray it over in that area. That kind of worked a little bit, but I found a spray at the gardening store. Used that up, and when I came to the last of the bottle, you know how you just squirt it and you trying to find the area where the nozzle is going to get the spray out? It's like, okay, let me turn it this way. So I did that. The next morning, they hit me. They was cool. They was away for a good like week. And it was like, I didn't really.
So they had a lookout and everything.
Yeah, I didn't get a good,
he just ran out.
I didn't get to soak it down really well. And
you smell that?
Like, man, that ain't as strong as it was.
Exactly. Let's ride this. That's mad, man.
I came out in the morning. I'm cussing. The kids coming out like, man, what's going on? I'm like, these goddamn squirrels and dug up areas. So I had to go and replant. This is like the third or fourth time I've had to replant shit there. So yeah, that's just what I'm dealing with. Other than that, I'm doing well. I got like a lot of hibiscus. So
yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen you. That's what's up.
Yeah, so I grow it next to my okra. Which those are...
Just bring some tea next time.
I'll bring some. I got a lot. I guess they're kind of cousins are of the same species because they pretty much grow exactly the same. They look the same when their stalks look the same, and they grow pods the same way.
What? Hibiscus and what?
Okra.
Okay. There you
go. And those are both...
That sound hella good.
And what people don't know is those are both...
Okra, hibiscus, and gravy?
Native to Africa. So those of... Our family and cousins in South America, Central America, Mexico, who drink Jamaica, which is made from that. That is actually an African native plant. So
Jamaica.
That's crazy.
Well, the drink is called Jamaica.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah, and the drink is well, it all depends. Some places make
they don't
it really good.
They don't put enough sweetener in some
other
places.
Yeah, because it can be bitter. And it's like
it can be too sweet.
Yeah,
or
it has
too
like
watery.
this bitter twang to it if it's not done right.
Yeah.
But when it's done right, oh man, it's wonderful. And it has like this flowery after. Yeah, like it's really nice.
Yep, it's pretty good. So I'm drying the leaves right now, but they grow so fast. It's a lot of them. So that's going good.
So what's the purpose of drying the leaves?
Drying the leaves for tea, and then you can use it.
Because I seen you with the pods.
Yeah. So you remove the leaves, and the pod was inside that has the seeds in it.
Boom. Okay.
Yeah. And then so I'm obviously on my okra plants, I'm saving like 3 or 4 pods from each plant, just letting them stay growing so I can take seeds from them. So I'm practicing doing that. Even though I got more okra seeds in the tuck, I just trying to practice learning how to do that.
Preserve them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then so everything else is going good. I got the bed that I had all those like random seeds in. I was getting attacked by this white moth. They plant. I mean, they what they do is they'll put their little eggs under the leaves. The eggs grow into like caterpillars, and then you'll come out in the morning and there'll be holes all in your shit.
Yeah, they ate all through it.
Look like a tennis racket. Like the cabbage leaf will look like. So what you got to do is
looking like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, you got to come out in the morning every morning. For the last couple of weeks, I've been just trying to consistently go out in the morning and look under each leaf, spray it down.
Early for that though,
because they only out in the morning. You're not gonna find the caterpillar during the day because it's too hot. So you got to look under the leaves, and sometimes they'll be real tiny green, or there'll be a big ass caterpillar, depending on how long they've been out there. So I done lifted up and seen some big ones.
Damn.
And you try to get them small. But so now I've been coming out, they've been gone. So the bigger the plant gets, the smaller the plant is, the more susceptible it is to like pests and stuff like that because it's not strong enough to fight them off. And then so now a lot of them are growing a lot. So I got a lot of cabbage, broccoli, and Brussels sprout plants that are finally starting to prosper. And it's hella like random kale and basil and shit. And
okay. So yeah, you getting busy.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're gonna be ready for Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm trying to do. So my thing is I got a lot of collards. That's what I got.
I need some of those.
A couple of different kind of mustard, and I have a couple of regular collards.
So you're gonna try to make mixed greens then?
Mm-hmm. And then I didn't grow any sweet potatoes, but I got a huge pot of potatoes that I'm growing, so I'll use those.
Nice.
Green beans. So I'm trying to have like Thanksgiving be as close as possible to
the garden.
Being out the garden.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah. So
might have to do a Friendsgiving or something, and everybody pull up. That'll be smooth. It'll be smooth.
I got a lot more green beans out there too. So it's
okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm learning. I've a lot of the mistakes I made prior, and some of the stuff I didn't think I needed to do. Doing it now and seeing it's a lot of
stuff is running more smoother now for you because of trial and error, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I dig it. Sneaker news. Huh? All right.
What? Oh, me. Yeah, man. Shoes are selling. Shit's going crazy.
Nice.
Nah, like I've really been detached as of late because I mean, like, everything is pretty much the same. There's not too much of anything new. It's like rinse.
Does it seem like it's a drought as far as in
recycle,
information and releases and?
No, not at all.
Oh no,
there is the stuff is releasing all the time, but it's just like recycled designs that change the colorway. Another release from a collaboration with somebody they've been dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, rinse and repeat type stuff. Nothing really exciting. It's going like, oh my gosh, whoopty whoop whoop. It's just like, Joe Freshgood does his drop with New Balance, and then out of nowhere they have some unreleased Off-White. They, they tease you about that. Then a J Balvin collab, and then Travis Scott collab. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of the same thing. And then you'll get a collaboration nobody cares about, like Ambush and Nike. Nobody cared about that drop at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and then on top of that, think about inflation. So resale is down, right? A lot of stuff is sitting on shelves now. A lot of stuff is more available than it used to be. So
our prices dropping a little bit from the resellers?
Oh, 100%, because now it's about breaking even. It's not so much more as it used to be about making a profit, right? But with the shift,
they want their money back.
A lot of people are looking at, in a lot of cases. Well, the thing about it is because this is what it is. Around the time of the lockdown and everything else that happened, you started getting an influx of resellers, people buying and getting connections or whatever the case may be. The thing about it is the strength of their connections in their network in their clientele. So with your network, you feel me, you're able to get your access on certain things, right? But if it's strong enough, you start getting the exclusives, you start getting the rare stuff, you start getting the higher tier stuff. Yeah, if you haven't been locked in beforehand, it's hard to gain access to that type of stuff, right? So then you're getting, general release dunks, Jordan 1 lows, Jordan 1 mids, every once in a while, Jordan 1 high.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Well, everybody else is getting that stuff too. So then the market is being flooded with all the lower level stuff at higher prices because that's what everybody has access to, right? And so after a while, you start burning out because now you're trying to break even to get some money back. And the longer that you're holding on to stuff, the less you're selling, the less it's even wanted because shoes are dropping all the time. So it puts you in a position where you, at some point, if you're not really moving stuff because of your clientele, and that's what it's really based on your clientele. If you have a strong clientele, they're going to come to you regardless. Think about it like, oh, this drop, that drop. Well, I want them, and I want to make sure I'm going to get them. I'm not going to take my chance with sneakers. I'm going to hit my connect. Everybody don't have that type of clientele. A lot of people are folding. So now, with them folding, you have a lot of stuff sitting on shelf because resellers are tapped out, right? The prices of things are a lot higher, so then it only makes sense to go after the more exclusive and rare stuff instead of the general release. So in order to do that, you got to be on point. So there's been a major shift in a lot of things. So, plus the strength of the dollar doesn't account for much these days. So,
inflation.
What about like the creativity though, like the designers behind the sneakers?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's not too much of that going on, and then it's like when certain creators, designers, collaborators, catalysts, whatever you want to call them, they get creative freedom, right? But then they create something that the public doesn't really care for. You see what I'm saying? Or they do something where it's like, okay, we've seen you do this. For instance, the Ambush Nike collaboration, they're doing Forces now, right? And have you seen it? Like the Forces have the swoosh and it's like extended a little bit, and it has to.
It's like going off of the back. It kind of reminds me of the Flash helmet, bro. I don't like that.
But the whole thing about it is the first time that they did that, it was with the Dunks. It was Ambush and Nike with the Dunks. So they're recycling the design, just putting it on a different silhouette, right? It's almost like when you think about Travis Scott in a backward swoosh. It was just, they just started putting on different designs, but it's still, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
So what do you think is a cause and effect due to the reseller market, that the people who are behind these corporations are like, is low hanging fruit for them? So where they feel like there's no need for creativity because there is such a hype beast mindset for the fans.
Kind of answer that question.
Yeah, it sells. As long as it's selling, you know what I'm saying? Why? Okay, it might not be doing the numbers but the thing about it is this. Majority of collaborations get sold out due to backdooring and resellers and bots and things of that nature, right? So that means that initially Nike sold out, right? That's all they're going for. They don't care of how hyped it is or how well it does.
They don't care about the moral or the culture or anything.
Irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like the Jordan. It's almost like the Jordan era. Like, when we were a lot younger and kids were getting killed over a pair of Jordans. They didn't make more available. That's a community issue. That's a political issue. That has nothing to do with our business. Until something affects them financially, not gonna be bothered.
Yeah, look, put it out.
Yeah.
They're re-releasing the Chicago Jordan 1s for like the, fifth, sixth time. They're just calling them lost and founds now, make them look a little old, change up the box design, crack the collars. Boom.
Yeah, man. Music news.
Yeah, what's going on?
Only music news I have right now is my own. I got some stuff in the works. I'm sitting on a lot of stuff I need to make some master. So it's been difficult to not share. You know what I'm saying? Because I just want to put stuff out, and you know what I mean. So we got a decent reaction. Me and Zay got a decent reaction on the little remix that we did. But as far as that concerned, I still plan on dropping a couple EPs. Couple mixtape joints, little singles here.
You said next year though.
It could be the end of this year.
Okay.
In the top of next year, or they could both just be at the top of next year.
He getting antsy.
Yeah, so it's just at this point it's just editing. There's nothing really more to lay down. It's just editing. So I got that. I don't really want to.
Well, yeah, what's up with
I don't
the
really say what's
fall
up?
exclusives for LaVar Cole?
I don't really have any fall exclusives, right? What's going to happen with LaVar Cole right now is for people. What people need to understand is like
You got
every
no
piece
pajamas in that, man?
for women, everything that I put out is never going to be re-released again. So all of you guys that got the first drop, which was the hoodies, right? I had the black ones and then I had the white ones, right? I'm not dropping that design in that colorway ever again. If I drop another white hoodie or another black hoodie, it's going to be a totally different design. You know, it might even be the emblem or something like that. So that's one of the main things that makes the brand so unique, because it's only going to be a group of people that can relate.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
like the Supreme route, kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then now, I'm going to take a break from the piece aspect, and I'm going to start working on accessories. So I'm in the process. I've been working with Jelani in the process of working on a bag for men.
Okay.
So that's going to be pretty dope. And, you know, things like that are going to come. But my main focus is this bag that we're working on and things like that. So
I like it.
That's going to be smooth. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on with LaVar Cole. So get your LaVar Cole for y'all that's listening. Because like I said, every piece is unique. Every drop is unique. Every drop, every design, every colorway is limited edition. So yeah. I mean, where do we start first, man? Where do we start first? Let's do this. So
there is one thing I wanted to add to your list, if we could do that, if we have time.
Okay.
It's nothing extensive. New music.
No.
oh man, yeah, that's a given.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a given.
Right.
That's a given.
Why you want to talk about that new Gibbs?
Yeah,
It's a lot of one. That's part of my. I want to talk
I don't
about
want to
it.
talk about that. If you don't want to talk about new Gibbs, then I'm just saying.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting 3 weeks, bruh.
I was
been waiting 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Every time this nigga hit me and said, "Yeah, nah, we're gonna pods. We're gonna be off." I was like,
yeah, man.
I'm like, this is gonna be irrelevant next week.
Yeah, I got notes like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Where do we start? I mean,
let's do it. Let's do it like this, man. For you guys, as far as your information on Charleston White, this guy
My man.
has went viral like extremely fast.
Yeah.
He has a very divided audience, but he does have an audience.
Right.
There's people that hate him. There's people that agree with him. I'm not gonna say there's people that love him. There's people that hate him, and there's people that agree with him.
I talked to somebody that loves him, but let's go ahead and break down who Charleston White is, because the thing about it is, like, I didn't know who he was.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Up until when?
Up until
I still don't know where he came from.
this morning.
Really?
I don't. I still don't know where he came
I
from.
definitely do.
Up until this
great.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who?
I knew about Charleston when he had dreads like yours.
Charles White. I knew a Charles White. He cuts my shoes. It's pretty dope. But that's neither here nor there. So Charleston White, right? So apparently he, former teen gang leader who managed to reinvent himself after serving jail time, right?
Yeah.
He, what he served time for, basically at the age of 14, him and his friends were stealing athletic jackets from Foot Locker. They were confronted by a man in the parking lot who was shot dead. The man was shot dead. Charleston White didn't pull the trigger, but
He told his partner to do it.
oh, okay. Well,
He told his
well,
partner.
he said he was pretty much as responsible as the person who pulled
Yeah,
the trigger.
because he told his partner, he said, "Man, shoot that nigga."
Okay.
And then that's why the dude pulled the trigger.
And so there's that. He's also the founder and CEO of Helping Young People Excel, Hype, right? Organization dedicated to educating teens and helping steer them away from turning to crime. Okay. So he gained a sizable following due to his YouTube commentary on rap music and other trending headlines. Yeah?
Right.
These are all facts?
Just
We can
about.
agree
Yeah,
to
just
that?
about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you did a nice little bio line like right
Some
there,
of
man.
his
I like that.
biggest controversies are due to comments regarding George Floyd, the death of DMX, the death of Nipsey Hussle,
Correct.
and the death of King Von.
Yes.
And it is also noted that he had an altercation with Soulja Boy. Like they threw fists, they threw hands.
Mace.
Somebody threw hands in the air.
Somebody
Okay.
was maced.
Was going like this.
Somebody
Well,
was
They was trying to
maced.
get the mace out.
Well, when they said altercation, they didn't really go into detail. So, they kind of left it up to us.
I mean, you're not far off the road at all.
Okay.
It was
I just wanted
definitely
to
an
make sure.
altercation.
All right. And so those are the facts. That's what I have.
and I'm gonna
from
find
that.
that mace. He told us what brand that was too. I went and looked it up.
Anything following
Damn.
that, I don't know. But that's just for those who don't know who Charleston White is, because I had to do a little background check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck 'em.
That's what.
It's crazy. So the person that I said I kind of, I don't know if loves them. Yeah, I don't know.
They're more of a fan than a foe.
Yeah. What the thing about it, like the way that they put it simply is like he's against anything that is detrimental or damaging to the black community, black people. So, you talk about rap music, gangs, things of that nature. They're all condescending, detrimental, you feel me, paint the wrong picture to the youth and things. So he's against all of that type of stuff. That's how it was pointed out to me. I don't know the depths of anything. You feel me? Like I told you before this morning, bro, you could have told me Charleston White was a pro player back in the 80s. And I'm like, did he do numbers? I didn't know.
Jelani probably like, I actually got a pair of Charleston Whites, man. I didn't know.
Fact, yeah, they didn't. What are they, Black Forces? Nah, but so I really, outside of what I've looked up, I'm not that much more informed. So you guys have the floor.
I mean, you pretty much summed it up. He's very controversial because what happens is he does this thing that's pretty unique where he disses the alias and tries to focus on the actual individual. And as creative as that is, because I mean, there's truth to that. The people that we know as their aliases, like the Nipsey Hussles, the DMXs.
Well, and that was another thing that was said because he pointed out a comment where he was like, "Yeah, fuck Nipsey Hussle, whoop, whoop, whoop. I fuck with her mans,
Yeah.
but I don't fuck with Nipsey Hussle. That was a front. That was
it was
an
a
image.
character. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that's another thing. He focuses more on the person and not the character because the character, it's a front, it's a play, it's a facade, it's not real.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And so me personally, when I've watched a decent amount of his content, and I see both sides of it. I see where he's like, a lot of people aren't showing love to the individual until the alias or the character is assassinated, right? But then I know better because I joke, I laugh, I understand sarcasm. I know he's trolling when he says fuck the name, and then he explains it later. There's some people that are like, well, you don't even have to say the fuck that person part. You could just be like, I'm not really a fan of what they talked about. I'm more of a fan of who they really were. But that's the shock value.
Yeah, I'm about to say there's shock value, and that brings in traffic, that draws attention. You know what I'm saying?
He also explained that he didn't do this. He was inspired. And this is crazy to me because I'm also a fan of the character. I'm also an advocate of his actual message, and I'm also an observer and trying to stand back and view this from a different lens. And what I mean by that is the internet is kind of like Charleston White is a creation that was inevitable. He was born almost like a comic book villain. He is a person who he went to prison or whatever as a kid, came out, did a lot of work in the community. And he's asking for and looking for people to stand behind him. And when he goes to these different meetings and he's not seeing us there, but he's hearing us complaining and doing all this marching. And so he's frustrated because he's asking for people to come and support. He's looking for support, right?
I can relate to that, yeah.
And he's not getting the support. So what does he do? He goes on the internet, still attempting to get support, but he's not as brash. sees the movie Dolomite that we all seen with Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Dolomite. I'd heard about Dolomite movies. I didn't know. I knew it was a blaxploitation movie, but I just didn't know Dolomite was a character.
Mm-hmm.
Although all films and fictional films have characters, that guy was or there was someone playing that character in the sense to where he realized, he was like, oh, this crazy brash person, the person who's actually playing the character is much more intelligent man, but he got the attention of the people through that. So he said he saw the movie, which didn't come out but a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it didn't come out not that long ago.
That's when he said, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a Dolomite character. I'm gonna become what's the guy off of what's the show with Huey? Uncle Ruckus. I'm gonna become the Uncle Ruckus kind of character, and so he gets people's attention that way. But I also feel like he's an inevitable creation because of how much an effect like the music and things that happen in the street coincide.
Well, it's all contradictory.
With the internet, it's like a gumbo that was like all mixed together. Something's going to be born out of that to where it's like a mirror to that.
Yeah.
There has to be. That's human nature. That's like organisms all have that. There has to be some sort of balance.
Cause and
right?
effect.
There has
also
to be.
like the Matrix when it was Neo, and because of Neo, they had
damn near some shit. There has to be some balance somewhere.
Yeah. Who's gonna be the villain to the hip hop heroes?
Antagonist. There has to be
because there are people out there who I feel like I could be one of those people who in that group to where it's like, I get the street shit and I get the music shit and I understand it. But I'm not also supporting none of that.
It makes sense why he does it though.
Yeah.
Like you said, to be the antagonist, but it makes you look at things.
Yeah.
And that's the because it's not just a shock value. See, the shock value draws you in, but then what he says, you have to like, wait a minute.
Because when he talk,
and that's what I'm saying. You can't argue it. And I don't know, but a lot of what you're saying, I've heard from somebody who, and he didn't say too much that was biased because, believe it or not, the individual isn't a biased person. He's kind of like straight up. So what he told me was like, dog, I dig what he does because of this X, Y, and Z. And he's like, bro, like, when we were younger, we were like that, whoop-de-whoop. You're like, looking back on it now, a lot of that stuff's stupid. We come a long way. There's so much stuff that I wouldn't do. He's like, when they were sitting back and we seen the same type of stuff or worse happening to the youth, and a lot of it's related to X, Y, and Z, which is what Charleston White seems to be against, and he talks outwardly about, you know what I'm saying? So it all makes sense. And then if you think about the organization that he has, all of what he done backs what he's doing with the organization because of his life experiences. So it all ties in together. I don't see what the issue is. I guess people are upset or they're offended by the things that he's saying.
Niggas don't like when a person who like me. I've had this experience. I'm a square. I've always been a square. But just being a square don't make you like you not tough or like you.
Yeah, just because you're a square don't mean you're a sucker.
So a lot of people who have this like bravado about them because they part of an organization, like a street organization, a gang, whatever they want to call it. A lot of dudes are in their heart small like this, so they hide behind this persona. And so when it's somebody who they feel like easy picking coming at them with their chest poked out,
it's like how dare you?
How dare you talk to me like that? But it's like every situation we seen Charleston in on camera, Charleston ain't never been touched. He was talking to what's the dude, 600 Breezy dude, about 6 something dude. Charleston in there by himself. He talking that shit. Like, man, I don't give a fuck about what you like, dude. You can't out talk him. Like a person like me too. You can't out talk me and you
intimidate me to
your words, whatever you say, you can never match me because I'm gonna out intellect you, and I'm just gonna talk quicker than you. And what I gotta say is gonna catch you up so much that you're not good with your words. You can't express yourself the same way.
Getting flustered and
Right. And then that was something else that he pointed out. He was like saying that Charleston White speaks about how people are affected and moved by words, right? Like somebody could say something like "fuck your dead homie," and now you ready to lose your life over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're ready to kill him and end up in jail, lose your life because of words, because of something somebody said, like being moved by words instead of having, you know what I'm saying, the discipline and the understanding to like, so.
Yeah, I've had to overcome that shit too. I've definitely used to be a person who could be moved by certain phrases or words.
Well, I think that's definitely a cultural thing. Like in our culture, like
we feel like we got the right.
It's a certain like respect thing, but I think that the thing that I look at with Charleston White that stands out to me, is that if you live a certain lifestyle, it's really, really hard to debate with him. Because what he does is he holds the mirror up and he shows the contradiction in everything that you say that a person should stand on or be like or whatever the case is, because he's an older guy. He's already done this shit before.
And he ain't even that old.
Yeah.
Charleston, like, our age.
Well, when I say older guy, I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? We're older. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I forget.
So I feel like
the oldest. That nigga wearing bell bottoms. He the oldest.
But I feel like with that, the reason why I'm saying that it's hard to debate with him, like it would take kind of a square person to defeat him in an argument. Because they can say, I don't have your background. Yeah, you did change your life around, but you're still a walking contradiction and blah blah blah. But that's and he says it. He tells these guys what he's gonna do to them before he does it. He said, I'm setting traps. And he's triggering them. Oh, fuck this person, fuck that, fuck what you stand on. And then when I like started listening to what he was saying, and I started listening to a lot of different interviews that's related in the same conversation, not just with Charleston White, I had to think to myself like, yo, like that video that who's homie that was the basketball player that was a real advocate during the George Floyd thing?
Steven Jackson.
Yeah. And there were some people kind of like clowning him. And I think Charleston White did say something about like you going and checking in with some little ass kids.
Bro. He went to Chicago to the O Block and thought that was cool.
You checking in. And then I thought about that. I was like, that is crazy that you got to check in with some people you don't know to go to a city.
Man, knock it off. I wish I would check in with some kids. I check in with my son to make sure he at where he's supposed to be at.
Right.
It's the only child I'm checking in with.
I check in at hotels.
Exactly.
And you know what's crazy also is...
And I'm not knocking or talking, but I'm just like, I don't... And that's the thing. I also feel like that's another thing. It's like, all right, so how are you moving and where are you at to where you have to check in, right?
It's because they don't... This is our world, right? This is what I mean.
Well, I'm in my own world. What you...
Don't know the real...
The ghetto?
Nah. That's a smart... Whatever world they living in...
Yeah.
Eventually... You gotta come and live in this world. You could fight against it all you want. Right. You could keep fighting and try to bring your rules to the actual civilized world, regardless of whether we respect it in the ghettos and in the streets or not. About that world, you gotta come live in this world eventually. You gonna go to prison. You gonna get whatever it is. You gonna grow old. You gonna get your mind right eventually. Then you gonna try to get hopefully, but you gonna try to come and live in this world. And you can't come in this world and try to tell us how to move.
Yeah,
he's standing on business by saying, I'm moving like this. He's making those morals the thing to be proud of. God damn, fucking up my life and shit. He's making those morals things to be proud of.
Yeah.
A lot of people making the wrong morals and values things to be proud of.
Yeah.
And some people are afraid to actually come out and say, nah, I ain't with that.
What's that rapper's name? Rondo. Is that the individual who went out to LA and his boy got touched?
Yes.
And
people
that was a lesson that he had to learn for not checking in. But his boy had to die for him to learn a lesson, and now he don't want to be a Crip no more. That's
to me. I understand. Like, to me, that's a lot. It's not people forgetting that he just was almost beat up by. I mean, he was beat up by King Von. That situation is still part of that too. I mean, I feel like
so here's the thing about it.
Your life is in line.
What I just explained sounds stupid as hell, right?
Yeah, it does.
also,
Yeah.
like you were saying, he chose to be a part of that world, right?
Yeah.
If you choose to be a part of that world, regardless of how stupid the rules are, you have to abide by those rules, correct?
Right.
So everybody has choices and options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it sounds stupid, but again, a lot of stuff they do is redundant, contradictive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's holes, there's flaws in the.
The
A lot
reason-
of them are children, which
Well-
I remember not thinking about
they're also following
consequences.
something that's been, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah, repetitive.
Well, the problem is
Established.
that people, most people that get into this lifestyle, they don't consider a lot of shit when they get into it. Oh shit! One day one day I'm gonna fall in love with this chick. One day I'm gonna have some babies. One day my mom might be in this area and somebody might press her and don't know that that's my mom or that's my brother or that's my dad or, or one day, my brother might take my car and the ops think it's me and they hit my brother. And my brother, he don't do that shit. He go to Notre Dame or some shit like that.
Living one day at a time.
You feel what I'm saying?
You living
He
one
said
day at a
the
time.
ops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I don't have any ops.
Hell,
I don't either.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Though, like,
Yeah.
like ops is
Hell
supposed to be
no.
what, opposition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. On 2K. Yeah.
Nah, nigga.
Yeah. Opponents, opposition. But I mean, you see what I'm
I
saying?
got hella
Like,
smoke with people on
because they
GTA.
like-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
People
the,
feel
it's
like
just
cool
like,
some people
that's the-
create that drama for themselves so that they can be involved in some type of shit. Because a lot of them kids, man, they not really doing. They're just. We think we sometimes look at it from our lens and think like, damn, these kids are fucking off the chain.
They are.
They are, but it's not all of them. A lot of them are just.
Well, no, it's not
fucking-
all of them, but we
yeah,
talk. But when I
it's-
say that these kids are off the chain, I am talking about a
ones
certain
that-
group.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
talking about all of these youngsters. Now, there's sometimes I will put a generation,
Yeah.
in the same category because it seems like every time I run into, no matter where I'm at, it's like, damn,
oh, you young bastards. No,
you know what I mean? But I do understand that, a lot of these cats, they sign up for this shit very young. You know what I'm saying? And
Unfortunately.
and then, there's so many things you're not thinking about when you're investing. I mean,
it's not even, I don't know if it's not so much thinking about as lack of understanding. It's ignorance.
yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of ignorance involved in that. It's like a lot of it is not thinking, but you can't think about stuff that you don't know.
Yeah. Even
And-
me
and-
growing up, dude, I was infatuated with Crips. Me and my cousins were infatuated with
Nice
Snoop
one,
Dogg.
Red, so
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Look at this nigga, man.
Damu.
Yeah, for sure. But I was infatuated with all of that. And we from California, born in Southern California, you're listening to, Snoop Dogg and all the gangster rap and everything like
That's
that.
another thing, man. A lot of that rap that they're glorifying, all those situations, they never done that, never lived that, never experienced that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
But it's
like,
it's
sit
a
up
different
here
type
and-
of rap that they even listening to, bro.
All
Like,
right. Well, yeah, some of
that-
that stuff is actually.
it's
yeah,
literally like I'm in tune with it because I like some of the music.
But you have your ignorant moments, like me
I
and my
do.
me and
I
me
do.
and the
I
homie
can only
Jamal
take
talk
so
about it.
much
It's
of it,
ignorant
though.
moments where you want to like, oh, let me indulge and
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
this bullshit is
Yeah. So
or what's
I'm-
going on. Yeah,
I'm in tune, but it's really literally them just
Black.
they're just antagonizing each other and talking shit to each other. So it's like if their mind is just prepped to just think negatively in that sense to where everybody is opping.
I mean, the music helps.
You really have these issues. If you don't if you don't create the issues, then you have no need to be speaking that way. So they create issues for themselves a lot of times, unnecessary issues.
I think one of the easy remedies to this, I don't even want to call it disconnect, but this feud with a Charleston White and everybody on the side that disagrees with him or hates him and that's living that lifestyle.
Right.
I would just take all of those individuals, only the individuals with kids and like relatives that they really care about, and say, would you say to your kids that everything that man is talking about and saying is a lie? That's the hard part because most of them don't want their children to even be around or involved in it, even though they still could be like our age, still banging, still, you know what I mean, on the block or whatever the case is, but they still gonna try to send their kids to a different area.
Nope.
There's
I know
still-
somebody that came up in it, older than us, raised their son in it. He with the same nonsense.
I was about to say this. Charleston just said
I'm not
this morning.
I'm not talking. Hold on. I'm not talking about a small percentage of people. I'm talking about most. I know a nigga has smoke with Charleston White right now, and I guarantee you, because I know him personally, he most likely doesn't have his kids in that shit, or doesn't want his children to be involved in that type of shit.
I mean most don't.
Yeah. I know that there's people out there that live by, like, man, my daddy did it. You know what I'm saying? My uncles did it.
Yeah,
like,
he
that's just
mob
the
now.
lifestyle. Because
I mean,
He know his alphabets. Spelling mob.
Think about the kids that got mom and dad that's both in the streets. Are they similar to? I don't even want to put it there.
That's even a great point.
Dahmer parents, kind of like.
You know what? Let me
I
tell
haven't
you.
watched that.
I'm gonna tell you. That's an even better point, because the person I'm talking about, both of their parents was in that lifestyle, and he still, I can tell, because he don't show his kids off like that. He don't have his kids all on the social media or whatever the case is.
Because he knows the way that he was raised was, in that sense, was probably ineffective for him. And the two parents at that time, they think this is cool. They stand for this so much that, my kids is going to be, this is what my kids are going to do. So they're showing them things. They're Pernell. It's a lot of Pernells out there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Pernells.
Yeah. So that's why I posed that question, because even let's look at the cast that we grew up listening to, right? Mm-hmm. And all the shit that they was talking about, all the gunplay, all the charges that they got, the time that they did, and look at how they're living, and look at how they're trying to raise their kids, though.
See, murder's still in jail.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
All of these gangsters, all these tough guys, all these people that roll around with guns, look at how they're raising their kids.
Because eventually you gotta come live in this world. And the unfortunate thing is, in the time when you're in a survival mindset, damn near anything goes. So your stomach get touching your ribs. Like, some of these kids, that situation is more than just actual hunger for food. It's like hunger for acceptance, hunger for
they gotta ask themselves.
That lyric said, "Empty stomach give you the heart to go do a homicide."
Yeah, yeah, because you're.
But the crazy thing about that is where they do it. I remember when I watched, I think it was Nipsey's only or last Breakfast Club interview, and he was talking about how that gang culture was, and he was like, yeah, when you go to do something, when you go to ride or whatever, and you go over to the other side, or you find somebody that look like you, that's from the other side. They walk like you, they dress like you from the other side. So even though, like, yeah, that hunger will make you do that, you still got enough sense to where it's like, you know where you finna go do that shit at, though, which goes back to your concept of rules. They do have a concept of rules because they understand that those rules only apply there. You know what I'm saying? They're not going. Ain't nobody from our city in the hood right now is going up to Roseville and Rockland or anywhere and gonna be like, yeah, man, anybody they got to check in before they come up over it.
Because the consequences.
Because they understand jurisdiction.
Yeah, they got a system over there.
They understand jurisdiction. You see what I'm saying?
Officer pulls up like, yeah, I'm checking in, huh?
They got a real effective
I'm
system
checking
for
out.
you. Yeah. We ain't got that system together yet. Yeah. We police ourselves, so called.
What'd you say, officer? This is the beta system. We're just still testing out the buzz. We didn't mean it.
But like, I guess with Charleston, it's almost, is he necessary? Because how do you give the message out to kids nowadays?
Charleston White is necessary to the people that think they want to do this shit, but really
I'm saying,
don't want to do it.
You can't really, some of these kids, bro, I can say from experience, because a lot of people can't. I've worked for a lot of extended learning programs and after school programs and in high schools and junior high and elementaries in Sacramento, and bro, it's the amount of kids that will listen to like someone just giving them cool messages, talking in a certain fashion.
Yeah,
it's small, bro. They not really you gotta talk to these kids. These kids grew up listening. Like only a select few of us had parents that allowed us to listen to cursing music when we was kids. These kids growing up, man, in a time when you gotta be so real with them. You can't be like,
well, because you can't
coddle
shield them from stuff because
they
they
seeing
just
everything.
That, though, you also you have to be appealing to them.
That's
right,
true
and
as
he's
well.
speaking their language.
You know what I'm saying? You have to.
Politicians been saying what he's been saying for years, and everyone else, and activists, but he's speaking their language. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, "Look, young man, listen, you got a bright future ahead of you. You know, you're
shit ain't
smart.
working no
you
more."
have this, that, and the other." Nah,
But
he's speaking their
now,
language.
But check it out though, right? It depends on who's saying it. It really depends. Because like
it's not the message, it's the messenger sometimes.
Oh, 100%. Because I've worked with kids and I've been in community centers too, and I've seen the difference in the response from me versus them.
Because you made yourself the. I know what you mean. I wanted the kids to see me and be like, "Hey man, he cool, but he a square, but he cool."
But see, the whole thing is, it wasn't even that.
Okay.
It was just so they thought I was cool because we already know kicks is what I do.
They gonna
So
instantly be on.
my shoes are gonna be on point, right? And who doesn't like kick? Kids love kicks the
Urban,
most.
yeah. Urban
right?
kids is like,
and
yo.
so then when I pull up, the type of car that I pull up in,
Got that
I'm not in
BM.
no bucket. I'm not pulling up in nothing smoking, right? And then when we talk, I'm an author. I've done this. I've done that.
Wait, you don't
and
rap?
I look like them.
Exactly.
Right.
Having accomplishments and doing things and looking like an influencer or maybe your favorite rapper might dress or shoes they might have without doing the things that they say they're doing in their raps.
Attainable. Attainable.
And that makes it more appealing.
Yeah.
So then they will listen because now they see I don't have to rap. I don't have to be in a gang. I don't have to because he has this X, Y, and Z and he doesn't hoop. He doesn't shoot up anything. I haven't seen him spit a 16 the whole time he's been here.
Right.
Hey, you see what I'm saying?
Hey, his
I like him way
pants
better
ain't
than
hanging
Dizzy.
all
He was
off
handing out his
ass.
mixtape the whole time.
You know what I'm saying? But it's obtainable and it's appealing. And again, to talk their language. So you know what you need. You don't talk down to them. You talk to them.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? In a way that they can understand, that they can comprehend.
You see how I talk to Jaheim.
Yeah.
Little nigga getting it. No.
I think that even he will have to switch up his recipe like every rapper needs to. You know,
Yeah,
when you look at the growth, when you look at, did you take a 50 Cent, which we'll get there. You take a 50 Cent from where he started and where he's at now.
He don't rap. He doesn't rap
50
anymore.
is
50 Cent
my
used to be a rapper,
favorite
okay?
mogul,
But he's
bro.
not. He doesn't rap. Really? Over Master P? You a hater. Anyways.
I was a huge P fan, but
I just said because
I don't like the
whole
I don't
thing about
eat
it.
top ramen
Man,
and noodles
look,
and shit. No,
all right, but the whole thing about it, when you think about what Master P did, he probably
he legend in
lived,
3 games like Pee Wee Kirkland.
he probably lived every black boy's dream, right?
He
Regardless
played
of
in the
what
NBA. He sold crack.
Okay.
He
That was not on the list for me.
Well,
all.
that was a very, very misleading lineup.
Gosh.
He went to the NBA, started on his business, sold crack. Wait, he did that third?
I think you should have started there.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. Yeah.
But the whole thing is like, you know what I'm saying? Business,
Not in that order.
you know what I'm saying? Music company. He put his family on. He
Number
played
one
in the
mate,
NBA.
hip-hop
You know what I'm
rapper.
saying? When you think about
Popular black films.
yeah, movies. You know what I'm saying?
On
And
his
then-
own record label.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he didn't you say he got into food as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's selling
Hood food.
hood food. All the like
Him and-
classics.
Yeah.
Him and Boosie, right?
I think him and 40 is both doing that.
40 is doing. Yeah. I see the chef with the
Goon with the spoon.
going with the spoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
This man said chef.
I be like, man, I look at 40 videos like 40. You just learned how to cook, huh? You did just learn how to cook, man. He seemed like a nigga that's excited, like the first time they
Chicken and
make
cheddar
eggs.
sausage.
Yeah, like
Yo, he wildin'.
Like, 40 just learned how to make eggs. man.
I gotta ask you something because I can't let this go. When you was trying to say the name of his business, What was you about to rhyme chef with? Because it's
I
goon
stopped.
with the spoon.
Nah, you see, I
You
stopped.
was like chef with the. And I was waiting on it. Like, yo, I'm gonna see if he still got it in the booth. Go ahead, chef with the what?
Vest, man.
Because I'm still ready.
Nah, I had to stop.
Like,
I was like, hold on.
There isn't any.
Hey, no, you know, like a song you ain't heard in years, and how you just instantly
He was
remember
hoping
it.
somebody came in right at that part. Chef with the.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you got it.
Nah, that didn't roll off the tongue the same way, man.
My man said chef with the.
Yeah, nah, that didn't work. But yeah,
But nah, I mean, like, all right, so yeah, all right. I mean, all right. So why is 50 your favorite mogul?
I'm just saying that as far as like not thinking about who my favorite mogul would be. It was a moment. But 50,
So
I do admire 50.
You feel like he's your favorite mogul as far as in the way how entertaining he is as a mogul?
Entertaining because I admire individuals like himself who are
A
kind
troll
of like
who isn't a family man? Now go on.
We talking about his business? Or we
Oh,
talking
okay.
about-
We finna get into it.
Which one we talking about?
But I mean,
we
like,
talking about 50
I would
or
like to
Curtis?
think that.
Yeah. Fuck 50 Cent. Fuck 50 Cent. Yeah. Curtis the man. Curtis the man.
Nah. Yeah, man. Nah,
The only Curtis
I like-
we acknowledge is Mayfield.
I like his transition.
Yo, Pusha, man.
I like his transition though. And he's killing with the shows and yeah, I just like that. I like the villain. He'll tell you in wrestling. I always end up liking the villain that you just love to hate.
Yeah.
That kind of is like, damn, he keeps winning. He's not losing. I love Floyd for that. I love the fact that Floyd can talk mad shit, but regardless of how much shit he talks.
You couldn't type it to you. You better talk it.
Hey, hold on. There's a comparison we can make.
Apparently
between him
somebody
and your
else is
man.
a 50 Cent fan.
I have a thing that I was saying about him and your man Kanye. There's a comparison I can make. If people want to go there, we can go down that
We'll
road.
get-
You know,
no.
we'll get
there.
there. We'll get there.
We'll
Though.
get
But I like the villain like that. You love to hate. So Razor Ramon, you know,
Yeah.
that was my guy.
That's all you rapped about.
I love the when The Rock, when everybody hated The Rock, but then you eventually just like this guy. Yeah.
I don't see how Razor Ramon was a villain. He's pretty
Oh,
cool. to-
man.
What?
Outsiders
He's
and
never been on the
NWO?
He's never been. Yeah, he's always been the villain.
Misunderstood.
He was misunderstood.
I can dig you on that. I can dig you on that.
I'm
I can dig
sorry.
you on that. That's my guy. Yeah, man. Yeah,
okay,
but
man.
yeah,
Thanos was right, I guess. Okay.
that's most likely why I
Yeah.
like Charleston.
Yeah.
He's the villain that just keeps winning in all these situations.
Well, let's talk about a situation with 50, and you tell me if he's winning or not.
Oh,
The situation with his son.
Marquise.
What
Marquise. Let's lay it
I
out
want to
for
hear
the
your. I
people.
want to hear
Lay
your
it out for the
notes.
people.
I want to hear your
Yeah,
notes.
you got it written down.
Oh, okay.
Lay it out for the people what's going on.
see, the
Well, I
thing
want to hear
about
your
it
notes
is,
and your perspective. My bad.
So what the thing is like apparently, they funk has been going on for forever.
Oh yeah.
Like it's almost like he came out the womb. He was like, "Fuck that nigga! I'm not cutting the umbilical cord" type shit. Like
Is that right?
it seems like it because I don't. When were they ever? I see one picture right, and 50 was so young. It looked like it was before he got shot.
Oh, I
And
see.
he had the kid with him, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it's like after that, it seemed like they done fell out. There was some type of issue behind the BM, right? And they fell out behind that initially. And then it seemed like just no interaction, no, you didn't hear too much. And then out of nowhere, apparently his son took a picture with the son of the individual who was behind the murder attempt on
That's
50, right?
what you call it?
Supreme son.
Yeah,
Okay.
Supreme McGriff's son. I can tell you about that picture after you lay down.
Right, but that happened, right? Okay, and when that happened, he said, "I wouldn't lose any sleep if both the motherfuckers got hit by a bus and died or something to that effect." Right?
He said that?
Yeah, something along those lines. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess he isn't fond of his son. And so then it seemed like after that there wasn't too much of anything else. When I looked it up, I heard about the most recent back and forths between them. So apparently the son reached out through TMZ in an interview.
Was this interview before the Choke No Joke interview?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about the context of anything. Like, all I know is when I looked it up, the thing that seemed to really be highlighting is what was going on currently, and that was like Marquise Jackson reaching out through TMZ and saying he wanted to talk face to face. He offered to put up $6,700 to talk.
So this is after Choke No Joke interview. Yeah.
Which is the same amount as the child support payments or whatever. And 50 responded on the Breakfast Club interview, saying that if he wanted to talk, say he didn't want to talk. If he wanted to talk, he would call, saying you don't call TMC to say you want to sit down and talk and things of that nature. Well, apparently his son seen the interview and responded through social media and was saying that he's blocked on everything. He's blocked on social media, so he can't DM him. He doesn't have any numbers for him, so he can't call him or reach out. And he's saying that anybody who knows both of them won't touch on the situation because of how they're scared of 50. And so he said that seemed to be the only way was to reach out through TMZ because I felt you would get the message. So apparently, son has no points, no contact or anything like that with 50. He says he's not looking for money. He just wants to sit down and talk and converse, but it doesn't seem like 50 has any interest in doing that whatsoever.
50's pretty much already said that he doesn't really love him no more. This is a touchy subject.
There was an interview. I remember that interview.
That was a Charlamagne, right?
I don't know. It was a Zoom interview that I seen, and he said, "Do you love your son?" He was like, "I used to."
Right. I can. So before
I'm done.
Okay.
That's all I had. I just
Before I give my take on it, I can say that there are things that I can separate having an understanding for and what I would actually do.
Okay.
I can understand also that some things that I would be okay with doing would be seen as maybe not the right thing to do.
Right.
But I'd be okay with my decision.
Okay.
From experience myself, I've never been in those shoes. Fortunately, I have a great relationship with both of my kids' moms. A lot of people don't. I have a very great relationship. There's never been any drama. I have a family though who has been kind of in a similar situation to where the child has been tainted by the mother. Not saying I know very much detail about this situation, so much so to say that that's exactly what's happening, but I can tell that he's kind of tainted by his mom, because some of the things that I've heard have kind of like been, he didn't explain it that way. He kind of left that part out. So for instance, the $6,700, he's having a conversation with Choke No Joke, who used to be the cameraman for Rockefeller. He was the dude following around Dame Dash filming the whole Rockefeller thing. Yeah. So he's asking Marquise, he's attempting to appeal to Marquise and say, yo, why don't you have a conversation with your dad? And Marquise is talking about some money. He's like, yo, $6,700, like how can that pay? He's basically saying $6,700 wasn't enough money for him, for his dad to be paying in child support for him monthly, because of the type of kid he is. He grew up in this lifestyle, and $6,700 would not be able to support that lifestyle any longer. So, but what he didn't explain was prior to the $6,700. And let me say, if I could get $6,700 a month, it would definitely change my life. I have 2 kids. That would change my life.
You don't grow up drinking vitamin water though, Nikki. That wasn't you. But go on.
So you're right. But so originally, apparently, the monthly payment was supposed to be $25,000 a month. What happens is 50 said this prior, which I thought I was like,
correction, because I got a lot to say. Correction, 50 was giving more.
Oh no,
He was giving more than the 67. I think he was giving close to that 25.
Yeah, it was 25.
And they were still complaining, so he decided to go to child support.
Mom goes to Mom,
50 went to child support. He took himself to court to get on child support to show them how much they would really get.
yeah, but mom attempted to go get 50,000. This is why he went to child support, because I think she went originally to try and get some, because he doesn't have the child. She tried to go to the court and do the child support. The judge switched the payment to $6,700. But mind you, on top of that, 50 is cashing out on already. So whatever the amount is, $25,000 a month. I calculated it was like $5.4 million. He's cashing that out, and you just getting a monthly breakdown. She went and tried to get more, so it dwindled down to $6,700.
And see, and that's what I was saying. Like at the beginning, there was an issue with the mom and everything, and so mom's tanked the son, so he want nothing to do with the son because.
And I can understand that only because I have family who have. You as a man, you kind of grow. It's like I throw my hands up. There's nothing really I can do, and I ain't saying that 50 is not that it's all on her, because I'm sure he has some ways about him. But I just know if I have family that's kind of like, I can't do anything. I could love you from a distance. I might not even love you anymore the way you've kind of acted and treated me.
Let me jump in here real quick. So let's take it back to like 2003. My very first hip hop concert was the Rock the Mic tour. 50 Cent was the biggest artist in the country.
Marquise was with him.
Marquise was with him on stage wearing bulletproof vests with his dad. Mm-hmm. They've always had a great relationship until they gotten older.
He's like 13.
This came out of his baby mom's mouth in a recent interview that I listened to. They always had a close relationship, and that's what fucks her up. Air quotes. That's what fucks her up, because he has his mannerisms. He eats like him. He talks like him, and all of that stuff. Right now. The first discrepancy that I witnessed with my own eyes with 50 and his son was his son's high school graduation. That was a big thing. That was kind of like in the black news area. Mm-hmm. And it was a headline, 50 Cent didn't show up to his son's graduation. And then because they put that out there publicly, he had to say something about nobody even let me know or gave me any information on where it was going to be and how they were going to do things and all this other stuff. And then that was the first time I started hearing about some child support money. His son is 25 now.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
And we're talking about child support, right? Yeah. And so I've been listening to different interviews between little pockets between the mom, the son, and 50. And when 50's talking about it, he explained, and I feel like it was that Breakfast Club interview.
Talking about the shoe store?
Yeah, he talked about the shoes thing. You'll love this one.
You're gonna be hot.
So
let's get it.
50 Cent sends money like, hey man, you can get your kicks. You know what I'm saying? You want some new kicks or whatever the case it is. Gets money, and then the mom be like,
no, wait, you got to set it up. He goes to he's in New York. Marquise is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's going down he's just riding down the street, and he pull up and he see a shoe store, and it look like they having like a closing out sale. He go in there about to cop a couple of shoes, and he's like, hey man, how much you want for all this? Gave the dude the money, cashed him out, sent the shoes to Atlanta. Said, hey, I know you always wanted the shoes, like you into sneakers. Why don't you set up you a shoe store, an online shoe store? You get a partner, and all y'all got to do is work on the inventory, and you got your online shoe store. This is before StockX and everything, like prior to them becoming the.
You start making your own money.
He send the shoes down there. He don't hear nothing from Marquise. Get a call from the mom. We don't want to do no shoe store. We want to do a clothing boutique. He ain't heard from Marquise about the shoes ever again. Mind you, he bought a significant amount of shoes, and if he's gonna say you can open up a online shoe store, he bought a significant amount.
And in the midst of that story, since we're on the shoe topic, there were times where 50 would get him a certain pair of shoes that he wanted. And his mom would say, well, you should be able to have all of the shoes that you want, not just the ones that you're asking for, whatever the case is. So that was a discrepancy too.
Because you 50 Cent, like
you 50 Cent's son, you should have everything his father should have. This is what 50 Cent was explaining what would go down.
She said, you made it. I don't gotta work. You made it.
And then the other thing that 50 explained is that they were the other thing that he explained that I thought was very interesting was when they were talking about like the spending time. He said there would be times where I would pull up to where he said he was gonna be, or are you gonna be here? And then he goes there and his son ain't there. His son dipped out, or his son ain't going yet. And so he stopped doing that. He stopped trying to pull up. And then I think one time he did pull, it was the jewelry store. But that was on accident.
Right.
Like he didn't know that his son was going to be there, and his son felt away because he was in there getting some heavy jewelry that was thousands of dollars. He's like, "Oh, you keeping tabs on me or whatever?" It's like, "No, I just happened to come in here to get some shit."
Paying for this jewelry with my money. What is you talking about?
So
what are you talking about?
Wait. The son was getting something heavy.
The son was getting something heavy, and 50 happened to go into the same jewelry store, and his son got insecure, like, "Oh shit, you try to keep tabs on what I'm doing with the money?" He's like, "No, I'm actually just shopping, and I just happen to run into you here." You see what I'm saying? So,
and okay, the picture, Supreme McGriff, son. So him and Marquise are kind of like into it right now. So that picture, Marquise said he didn't know that was Supreme McGriff's son. What happened was, if you could look at the picture, Marquise thinking he's just a regular dude who just coming up to try to take pictures with 50 Cent's son. Because he said Supreme came up and like, hey, come here, take a picture with me real quick. Whatever. He's just like, all right, I don't know, dude. And he's just standing there. And if you look, he just look blank face. Supreme McGriff's son looking like he's trying to like actually pose in the picture. So it was kind of like a little setup. And then it came out. He didn't know that was dude's son or whatever. So he basically got.
And I could kind of believe that because this is when 50 was not even. He was the mixtape 50. Right. Son wasn't even thought of yet.
Supreme,
you know what I'm saying?
Son is gonna know more about the history than 50's son is.
Yeah, because I highly doubt 50's just sitting there telling his son, "Yeah, so this happened to me and this, that, and the other." I mean, like he's only 25. You know what I mean? So, I think as far as my opinion on the scenario, I definitely think his son was influenced as far as his behavior, because most cats that I know, that I can tell where they have a vendetta or a beef with their dad and it's their own beef, I can tell it's their own beef. They're not mentioning they're not mentioning outside entities. Right. They're talking about like, I don't like he talking to me like this, or I don't like this, or I asked for help, or whatever the case is. There's hurt, there's frustration, there's disappointment. There's not a need to protect another entity that felt hurt.
And they ain't no 25-year-old talking about no goddamn child support.
And I was lucky enough to grow up around a lot of you guys that had their fathers, so I can tell, because I lost my dad young at the beginning of manhood.
Right.
I used to be able to tell, like, oh, that nigga got smoked with his dad. You know what I'm saying? Or that nigga's mad at his dad, or whatever the case it was. And the mom never came up. It never was about my mom, or it never was about, well, you should have bought me. It would really be like a man thing.
Yeah.
Like you little boy in me, you're not giving me that, you're not giving me my stripes, pops, or it was one of those things.
You wanna know what's crazy though?
What's up?
I think it's also had to do, it's kind of generational, because I mean, like, if you look at our generation of mothers, I think we could all agree that our mothers were pretty strong women, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
And they weren't the type to be sour or bitter and want to dog out your father and talk bad about him to you, type of thing. It never came across like that.
They still try to make the relationship work no matter how much they hated your dad.
Like, you need to know him.
They'll talk shit to him.
I might not.
They'll talk shit to him.
Yeah.
But you need to know him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. I agree with that.
So I feel like the whole like bitter and talking bad about your parent to the other parent, and I don't just mean females to males, I mean males. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Both ways.
Both sides.
I feel like that's something that came about later on. Right? Mm-hmm. With the weaker 80s. With 90s. I 95. I say 2000s.
50's generation is Generation X, right?
Yeah,
they're Gen X.
He's born in the 70s.
Yeah, that's Gen X. So they kind of, their culture is different. Even though they were raised by our parents, the way that Gen X parents, they operate different than our parents.
So you're looking at the 90s and 2000 parents, they
They have a different method, a different outlook, and a different way of like they will beef with their kids.
He your father's child. Can't stand that motherfucker here. He's like, damn, why he dissing pops like that? He ain't even.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
females talking hell. I can't stand him. Whoopty whoop whoop. He looked just like his father, and he act like it was like watching that nigga grow up all over again. I can't wait till I'm just like, damn. I thought you loved your kid.
I'm sure. I'm sure. There were those during those prior generations as well, but I feel like they feel like it's some type of like badge of pride and honor now. It's not more out of like it's frustration. It was frustration for those of them who expressed it that way prior, probably, but now it seems like this is.
It seemed like a weakness back then. It's a badge of honor now.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like to sit up here and complain about what went wrong and how somebody did you would be weak. Do that shit now. It's like, girl, I feel you. That nigga, my nigga ain't shit either. We get together and talk about all of them. All these men ain't shit. Or vice versa. Like, yeah, you know these hoes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it just.
Nobody in the circle is like, yo, but you picked them.
Huh? Actually, they chose me. You know, they came to me.
I was manipulated.
They said, man, she chose that, man. What you mean, man?
Me, I'm minding my business, you know. Low-hanging fruit. I just accept it. Nah.
That's true, though.
Shift gears, though, man. What's up with your boy, Ye?
Yeah.
Woo, I almost forgot we ain't
what do he do? Why you...
Bruh.
What's going on with Ye?
Listen, I'm going to be... I had to think about it. It took a couple of days. I've never heard anyone that was a prejudiced person or a racist person speak publicly on a platform like the way he did when he was making the anti-Semitic statements. I've never heard it so brash.
So do you agree?
I've never heard it so brash.
Do you agree with what he said was anti-Semitic?
There is no agreeing. It's facts. Okay. I'm a history is my thing. Okay. World War II history is my thing.
Before we get super deep into it, right? Let's lay it down because everybody should know.
Right. Tell the people what's going on.
We can't assume.
If you've been under a rock or smoking rock, as my man Smoke Dizzle would say.
Okay, look, cut his mic down.
If you've been under a rock,
he found a way to get his mic cut off. Golly,
damn,
cut his mic off, man.
So Ye went on Drink Champs, and he made a lot of comments, and he pissed off a lot of people. To the point that the George Floyd family filed a $250 million lawsuit. Some of the comments,
that's just
the defamation lawsuit. Some of the comments that he made were anti-Semitic comments. Mm-hmm. Basically, getting the interview banned, the 3-hour interview banned. Like you can't really see it anywhere. It's not on YouTube or anything like that.
The irony. Nori
he's also been
banned from TV.
He's also been banned from Twitter and IG. Now, here is Drink Champs banned?
No, Drink Champs ain't banned. They just had the Migos on there.
Right, that's what I thought. So, and like Nori went on there and
duos.
Nori went on like he created a lot of backlash. So Nori had to go on and apologize and say he regrets the interview and things of that nature. Right?
He didn't have to, but
he chose to.
Right.
He chose to. And so, yeah, like I said, Kanye's banned from Twitter and IG because of his anti-Semitic comments and things of that nature. He's also offered to buy the right-wing friendly social network Parler.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Fashion Week, he walked for Balenciaga, but he also wore a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Mm-hmm. That created a lot of backlash as well.
Have you seen the front of the shirt, though?
I did not see the front.
So the front of the shirt has the picture of Pope John, I forget which one. So there's a message within that as well where the Catholic Church Inquisition, he was attempting to say that white lives mattered because there was a quote-unquote attempted genocide or killing of a mass of different ethnic groups, religion, people who are Muslim or different religions. So I think there was like some message or something involved in that, which is why he said the White Lives Matter thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he shows the back first, obviously, to get the attention. And yeah,
That's crazy. Since the Drink Champs interview, Balenciaga has cut ties with him due to his comments, his anti-Semitic comments.
who else?
The Gap partnership
Everyone.
has been ended, of course, but he also said that happened before the comments, and he said he was planning to end corporate sponsorships. The Adidas sneaker deal is under review. The J.P. Morgan Chase
They ain't taking his money.
business relationship has been ended as well.
Yeah, show money.
I mean, like I said, some of the breakups were before the comments.
Wait. So he can't bank with Chase?
They're not taking his money.
J.P. Morgan Chase isn't. Yeah, it's rough. You know.
That one's hilarious.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing about it is, like, if you speak on certain people who are in position, they have the right to revoke you. You know what I'm saying? It's
I mean,
like,
you do have the right to revoke. Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
we
But
do
I
have the right to
still
revoke
find it
certain-
comical for so many reasons.
well, I mean, you know, I guess he spoke about the wrong people. You know what I mean?
Definitely spoke about the wrong people.
So, yeah, that's just
Yeah.
the basis right there. Y'all can go in full speed now. Thoughts, Spill?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Still-
where do I start?
Yeah.
So, because I read more articles, where and when and what exactly was said that was anti-Semitic.
Oh, there's a lot. All right, on the drink chance. So let me just give people an understanding.
Because he did something like that before Drink Champs, right? Or was it on Drink Champs?
He had
That
already
that-
tried to go on the shop.
and they shut that
They
interview
shut
down.
that down.
Okay, yeah,
He's
HBO shut
already-
that down.
He already spoke out and said that he was going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people through Twitter. So let me give people an understanding of why this is a very much a problem for Jewish people. And this is a thing that I have a problem with our community, is that
I didn't appreciate them dragging in Ice Cube and that shit either, but go ahead.
one thing I can't understand from our community is, and this is human nature, we want them to respect the things that we find that could be detrimental to people in our community.
Start.
So
I had to add start to that. We want them to start respecting.
I want them to start respecting.
Right.
So things in our history. So if we see somebody with blackface on, right?
Right.
We're gonna have an issue with that, whether you know the history or not.
It's gonna have a conversation.
Whatever your intent is, we're gonna have a problem with that.
Yes.
The N-word, nigger, whatever. We're gonna have a problem with that if certain individuals say that in certain circles. We're gonna have an issue with Ku Klux Klan costumes. We're gonna have an issue with those things. Those are triggers for us. They are images that are symbols of hatred,
Oppression.
racism, murder, slavery, Jim Crow, what have you.
Yeah.
The Jewish culture, for I guess most of history, the main thing that happens is, and this is what happened in World War II, the Germans were hit with having to repay for their atrocities in World War I, attempting to take over the world in World War I. They're now hit with having to pay back. So they
Reparations.
not even reparations. This is like you're paying for the infrastructure of everything. Like you have to pay a lot of money back. So they're getting hit with this. Then they have a recession. They also had a stock market crash that was due to the same kind of reason that we had our recession in 2008, right? So there's a recession that happens. And during that time, the people who just generally, like, we go to basketball, right? Black people, we go to certain sports, we go to certain things. There's certain things we're not going to fuck with. There's certain things that we are going to fuck with that are just inherent to our culture. There's things that people who don't fit our hue will go to. They'll go and do certain things that we just don't want to do. We're not interested in doing that type of stuff, right?
Right.
Jewish
Swimming
people,
with sharks.
they're a small community, right? That's a small community, but business is one of the things that they just have a great understanding of.
Yeah.
They've had the understanding of business, and that doesn't mean all Jewish people are rich. Let's get that straight. Not all Jewish people are rich.
That is a stereotype.
Yeah, let's just say that they're not all rich. But there's
stereotype.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's a pretty cool stereotype.
but the ones who are rich,
Aaron Louise.
they're really rich.
yeah.
They just figured it out. All right, so the person you
see the eyebrow scratch.
You got Hitler. You got Hitler during this recession, who becomes a somewhat like a politician. And what he does, he campaigns for about 2 years, and he campaigns and creates a party, the Socialist Party, which is became the Nazi Party. So that party, he campaigns against who the enemy is during this recession. Why are the Jewish people having all that? Why do they still maintain money and have all these businesses? There's someone to blame.
This shit sounds
They've always
familiar to me, bro.
They've always been the person to blame during some sort of recession because they have a business mind and they have a lot of money and the people who are in power. Yeah. So they loan money to a lot of individuals, and because they loan money, people think that the person who's loaning the money has their hands and up here and are like puppeteers. And what happens is people begin to believe this lie. And what happened in World War II is, what led up to World War II is, there was Kristallnacht, which was basically they went in, broke into all the Jewish businesses, pulled everybody out, placed them into what we now call ghettos. These are the first ghettos.
Yeah,
they're placed into
those were the first ghettos. Yeah,
these small communities that are caged in, and they have to wear this yellow star, and they have to be identified by this star whenever they're moving around or whatever. So that's what led up to World War II and to the Holocaust, was this belief that the Jewish people were the cause for the plight of Germans during that time. And so this message that Kanye is saying, that the Jewish people are doing this and that, and they're the entertainment industry and the music industry, and yes, there may be individuals who are high powered who are Jewish, and maybe some people who are not so good people, but you cannot say Jewish people. You have to say those people you're talking about.
You can't be specific.
You cannot say
be broad like that.
Right. You can't speak about Jews.
Why can't you say that?
Because it's anti-Semitic. So just like we're gonna say, whatever you talking about with black people, if you believe it's true, whether it's true or not, it's racism.
Absolutely.
That's why you can't say it.
Right.
And because it led to the almost annihilation of, you know how many millions of so you can't say it.
Yeah.
And because they're in power. So you're gonna.
You know what? Can I say something?
You can say it, just not in public.
Yeah, you're gonna get.
I think that's really. I think that's really stupid. You know, when people say certain things in public. You know, I think the thing that I struggle with Kanye West is that I don't think he should be protected. You know, based on his behavior.
No,
I don't. But I'm not going to bullshit you, dog. It's very hard seeing how quickly, expeditiously, things are getting called out and handled when a conversation about being anti-Semitic happens versus it being because everything that you're breaking down, and I said earlier, man, this all sounds familiar, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like Black Wall Street and everything like that. And, you know, these black people over here doing this and, you know, the 40 acres and a mule and all these other things. Yeah. And it's just like when we say shit like that, right? It don't hit the same.
No.
That's my only thing that I think bothers me about the situation. It's not Kanye. It's not Kanye West because I'm going to be honest, his mic should have been cut off a long time ago to where the point of we shouldn't even be here having this conversation. Yeah. If we want to keep it a buck. Like,
I was done after the Harriet
like his mic should have just been cut off, right?
Yeah.
But my thing is just like, I'm the wow factor of it. And because it's not just like us black folks having a conversation. You know, I go to the comment section of a lot of these conversations. And it's just like crazy. Like, damn, man, everybody's just like, yeah, that's anti-Semitic. Yeah, that's Kanye, man, you can shut the fuck up and all. And it's just like, man, I remember like 2 years ago, we was saying some shit. And it was y'all still bringing that shit up? Mm-hmm. Still bringing up the slavery shit? So racist? You know what I mean? And for me, it's like, I just want the same energy.
Nah, there's a lack of respect when it comes to black people, regardless.
I just want the same fucking energy. So the uproar and the anger and all of this shit, because Kanye said, first of all,
because we're still the
check this
other.
out.
We're still the other.
Remember what happened with Doja Cat? She was saying those racist comments, and she was found in that room. It was like a racist room or something like that, right? And she was making all these racist comments against black people and just a lot of disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't been canceled, bro. She made songs with City Girls and all other people and all type of other, like, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a lack of respect and urgency when it comes to respecting the black people as a race.
Right.
African American, like,
that's my only.
We're still the other. What's the thing that's different is what they did when they classified us as black and themselves as white. And based on your hue, you would be identified by that. Being classified as white when they're doing the census or you're taking a test or there's an application and they're asking you, are you white? Are you Spanish white? Or are you black Spanish? It's because all these other groups are now white, bro. They're all under this umbrella of what it is to be white.
Right.
We are still the other.
Right.
We're not going to be looked at in the same. So that's why I said because black people, when this came up, black people didn't understand and some didn't understand what the
anti-Semitic.
Well, there's also a confusion that's going on with black folks because a lot of black folks are making the argument that we're the original.
First of all, let's stop this. What I didn't like what Kanye did is, bro, you are talking this. You have Sunday service. You are talking about being a Christian, and then all of a sudden you're the original Jew. Do you know that Jews don't recognize Jesus as their Lord and Savior? You know that, right?
Exactly.
You understand that?
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't think he does.
Yeah. So he fucked it. That's why I say his mic should have been cut off,
just
man.
Talking. He's learning the thing. He's like the person that's learning something and is so excited to talk
and just telling everybody.
And
they want to pull up on you and educate you like you don't know nothing.
Not even that. Let's just cut it. Kanye doesn't know how to speak publicly.
Of course not.
He doesn't. This is my other. Let me make 2 points, and then I'll give it to someone else. Black people, when we're or anyone else, when we're looking at this situation, not understanding what anti-Semitism is, and then that should help us understand that. Well, they don't understand what we're talking about either. We don't understand what they're talking about, what their plight is. They're not going to understand us, and that's just human nature. Right. And that sucks. But my thing is, with the people, I have an issue with the fans.
Kanye fans.
Y'all everybody want to keep talking about dude is a genius. Oh, give him this now. His mom died in 2007. And man, you wouldn't say that to your coworker who just had his uncle just died. Or his closest friend just died. You wouldn't give him that same grace. No. You wouldn't say, oh, he's just going through things. His mom passed in 2007. Unfortunately, it sucks. I can never understand what that feels like. Right. But let's just knock it off.
Yeah.
Well, let's just knock it off, bro. There's no exception for that. Don't nobody else care about that?
What is people make the statement and they're not understanding something, like it's they're not finishing the statement, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Ye is a genius,
and
musically.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, this is the whole thing about it, and I've told you about this before. I have an issue with people getting upset behind these celebrities who are speaking about things or giving a platform to discuss or touch on things that they're not known for. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't want to hear Kyrie Irving's opinion on politics. Cross, shoot, ball, man. That's what you're known for, right?
I'm not saying shut up and dribble.
I'm not saying no. That's the thing. I'm not saying shut up and dribble, but I'm saying, like, when they speak on other things outside of what they are known for, you take it with a grain of salt, right? Why are we sitting up here listening to Ye's beliefs on politics and religion and all of that? He's not a politician. He's not in the Senate, right? He's not ordained to do anything, right? He has no certificates. He
doesn't have no original thought of his own.
And so, like, engineering, producing, music, man, there's not too many people that could touch this man.
Well,
now, outside of that,
but flip, you know what, Jelani,
he's
flip it.
He's not even doing all that.
But Jelani, flip it. Just like you said, if a politician or somebody were to come in the studio and tell him how to do it, he'd tell him to get the fuck out.
Right.
Right? Somebody that's actually an activist and is talking about social issues, come in there and be like, hey, you need to work on the EQs. You know, that needs a filter.
You know what
Put
he's
some
doing?
treble in it.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing?
He's going to say, get the fuck out of my studio.
He's using
Give it a little more pop.
he's using he's using hocus pocus, and what I mean by that is
He's definitely dazzling you with some bullshit.
yeah, because what he does is he'll say these certain things that make him seem like some sort of intellect or thought-provoking person, like he just came up with that idea when he mentions things like, what we need to do is we need to build these type of houses or this type of housing for our community, and it's like, hold on, bro. When was the last time you did something, first of all, for the community
He did
at
do some shit in
all?
Chicago.
That wasn't for
But,
yourself. Yeah, like
It's not my community.
He did build the Donda School.
he
I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying
He's done some things.
he has done some things compared to others.
no, he's not doing the things like
He's not doing this shit he's saying other people should do while he's calling everybody broke and he's saying he's worth
that's
$9
what I'm
million.
saying. So he's
Billion.
not his.
Oh, my bad. Billion.
He's not
$9 billion.
he's not going out and doing anything that involves working on like Jacques Fresco. He's not going and doing anything like this individual Jacques Fresco, who was like a pioneer in the creation of different designs and infrastructures for humanity.
Yeah.
He's just going and seeing and hearing about things, and he's just trying to say things to make himself sound intelligent. And so these people who are hearing him, these are ideas that they've never heard of themselves because they're not in tune with certain types of intellect, right? So they're not in tune with certain topics and things that are outside of whatever their little bubble is. So when they hear Kanye say it, they're like, man, he's smart, man. Kanye, we need to support him. We can't let Kanye go. And I'm
gonna keep it a buck with you, bro.
Y'all.
Like, Kanye is doing damn near the same thing that Charleston White is doing, except Charleston White is actually in his community and in communities and building up the community and has in his interviews and his, as far as his character is concerned, he has one op: gangster rap, killers, gangsters, and all that other stuff. What Kanye does that's very manipulative is
He switched jerseys.
No, what he'll do is he'll say some shit that is real and that does hit, and then try to slide some other shit in there that'll make you go, huh, but have you so fixated on what he said earlier. So he'll be like, black people, you know, we're oppressed and we're hurt and we need this. Women ain't shit. And we need to, that's kind of like what he does.
He right. Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? And there'll be a woman like, hold on, you said women ain't shit. You hear that? That's what he does.
Oppressed though.
Yeah.
But
bro,
You're not mentioning, but fam, you're not mentioning.
Bro, you've been talking about bitches, women, and all the like materialism shit. And this is one thing I've never listened to. I listened to Life of Pablo only because it was like a.
Come on, bro, you didn't listen to Late Registration.
No, I've never heard it.
Don't you know that you were a champion?
I've never heard that. I've only listened to the College Dropout. That's the only Kanye I like. I don't like Kanye outside of the Kanye that he presented to me when I first liked him.
I don't like Kanye outside of music because that's what he's known for. All the other stuff he's doing, I look at it and I'm like, dang, that's crazy. He should go back to the studio.
You know what's crazy, Jelani? Yeah, I think it's.
And I don't like Crybaby.
If we were more responsible, I think if we were more responsible, not like us three, but I'm talking in general. If we were more responsible as consumers, then I think that none of these athletes, entertainers, actors, whoever, right, would have, I don't want to say a platform, but it wouldn't even be in the questions to ask their point of view if we wouldn't react to it.
But a lot of people don't have filters. They just consume.
Yeah, but you could buy me, like when I see celebrities, I've seen so many different celebrities, and I'll just walk by and be like, hey, what's going on? And I don't care about you that much to be excited that much about you. I might be a fan of one person more than the other, but I'm excited when I see like I said, I seen my son and walking around. I was like, yo, like, what's going on? I still didn't really stand there and try to ask him questions. And say, I'm not like a fanboy of these people so much to where I get it confused about they make good music. Other than that, I don't know this motherfucker. I don't know what he thinks about, like what his morals and values are outside of what he's presenting to me, so much so where I support him more than I would anybody else that I know.
Well, what my point is, and what I'm saying is that there's certain questions that certain people aren't going to be asked if it doesn't fucking matter. But see, it matters to the general population that's watching TV and watching YouTube and on social media because of they're looking at the stats, they're looking at the comments, they're looking at the reaction videos and all of that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, as the masses, that's why the shit continues, because people understand, oh, shock value. People know what they're doing when they interview who they fucking interview, and they ask, because there's certain people that are not going to get asked a list of questions compared to others.
Yeah, because they're going to tell you before the interview starts that these are the questions.
Or they're not even just going to even try that person like that because of, how they move and things of that nature. And that's why, like, when black people react to Kanye West, it's irritating to me. Because it's like, y'all serious right now? Again, for real? Because there's some people that can say shit and we like, give a fuck, shut the fuck up. Especially if it's somebody that's washed up, they might have 3 to 8 hours that day of whatever the headline is and nobody's talking about it the next day.
Kanye not washed?
I feel like he is.
Yeah, he not washed?
Washed up as far as...
I'm asking.
Some people like that last album, Donda. They sit there.
I'm asking. All right, so Donda, right? How long did it take for that album to actually come out? And what did he produce before that?
That bullshit for the last 3 albums.
Nah, yeah. As far as I actually thought Donda was all right.
Life of Pablo, and then
I didn't listen to any of those. I didn't like Easy. I didn't really like Pablo, whatever. And I'm not even really interested in giving a press on that.
Watch. I was posing a question. I don't wear Adidas. I don't listen to his music. I don't care about his thoughts on politics or anything else outside of that. Like, if he's not over a beat.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to, how do y'all feel about Nori's response? Or let's actually, did you guys watch the interview at all?
No, I didn't. But I didn't watch the interview, and I didn't see his response. My thing is this: you only need to apologize if that's how you feel, right? If you were up there, amping it on, right, or egging him on, or like, yeah, you crazy, yeah, that's right. Now, then, if you were doing that, then there might be a need for you to let them know that you do not agree or you're not in line with those type of, right. But now, if you didn't say all that and that was him up there speaking that on his own, then they know that he wouldn't speak. Everybody know Kanye get on the mic and say some crazy stuff. Cause we remember him, he was live standing right next to Mike Myers, and Mike Myers didn't even know he offended, but he was like, George Bush don't care about black people. Mike Myers was like, we're live. We can't even cut. You see what I'm saying?
It's not MTV's fault.
So and that's what I'm saying. It's nobody's fault when this man decides to take it upon himself and use your platform to air it out, because everybody knows how erratic, right, he can be. So what are you apologizing for?
And what's crazy is, like,
I thought Noriega,
he had a disclaimer on the beginning of the video.
I thought Noriega didn't handle that shit. If Kanye's your boy, then stand behind your boy through the whole thing, because you gave him the platform.
Yep.
You had time to review the footage before putting it out.
He didn't.
Joe Budden said something, and I really watched Joe Budden, that had me cracking up. He said that would have been the most sober episode of Drink Champs, because he said they were shit faced. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole concept of the show.
Kanye wasn't.
Kanye was smoking and drinking.
Yeah, he was smoking and drinking.
Cause they show.
Now I know Noriega and them. They get busy, but
like, he was like he didn't even drink, and he sat down, but like he and just started like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know
but
how.
Noriega and them they do smoke.
No, they be
getting
heavy. They be
so
getting loaded. I know.
But I laughed at that, because I'm like, yeah, when you're dealing with somebody like that, you do need to be on your toes and be able to respond. And I think the embarrassing part, I think the other reason why he had an apology tour about it was because he was talking shit about Diddy, and Drink Champs is on Revolt.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I felt like Diddy should have shut the fuck up too about talking about whatever it is he felt about Kanye. If that's your partner, it should have been over the phone. That's why I feel like sometimes that's why some celebrities do lose their mind and they have mental issues, because they really think that the people in the celebrity world that they've worked with and they spend times with and that they've partied with are their friends, until they fucking have an opinion about them publicly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, I can't have friends from the hood or where I came from, and I thought these motherfuckers, because Diddy did say something about Kanye's comments. He was like, "That's my brother," and I'm sick and tired of black entertainers doing that shit.
My brother.
They get
Kanye,
online.
They suck up to Kanye, man.
Well, it's not just Kanye though.
Shit.
It's not just Kanye that fucking irritates me about black entertainers. They get online and they say, "This is my brother," before they say some shit that their brother isn't gonna like, but they didn't tell him that first. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. If I got a problem with Jelani or you, we do this podcast, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna have a conversation with you on the phone. I'm not going, yo. So let me start off by saying some shit I got to get off my chest. Hey, Poe, I love you. You know what I'm saying? I really love you.
My bro, man.
You my bro, nigga.
Right.
But
if
I'm
you show up late for another motherfucking podcast, okay? This shit is over. And I ain't playing, nigga.
Exactly. That's exactly, you know what I'm saying? It's exactly like, because we do that more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? If Brad Pitt and Ben Affleck got an issue.
Hey, and it's funny that you laugh because it would never happen publicly.
It would never happen publicly.
We always air out our dirty laundry and nobody else does that. And that's all right, so that's another thing. That's the reason why we're considered others, right? Because of the way that we handle things and we go about things, right? We handle personal, private, business type things. We handle all that type of stuff publicly, right?
Yes.
We air out our dirty laundry. We go about things the wrong way. And then, like, who was
with
it?
a little bit of clout chasing.
Was it Marlon Wayans on an interview where I saw? He said, "Man," he said, "You know, he said, white people, they call each other." He said they might have a falling out, they might have an issue, but then they'll call and they say, "Hey, I got this business deal. I want you to be a part of." They don't burn bridges. We burn bridges.
To a fucking crisp.
We will burn bridges. You have an issue with somebody, y'all fall out. Fuck that nigga. I don't care about him. I don't care about his family. I don't care what you will. You burn bridges. Now, what about how this person might have something that might be beneficial to you that will also help them out in the long run, right? So I'm sitting up here. Me and Spill fall out, right? We bump heads. So I'm like, fuck this nigga. I ain't fucking with him no more, right? Well, now who's doing my photography? Who's my videographer, right? What if I have something that comes together that is beneficial in the music aspect? And
Kicks and Sneakers Podcast 2023.
Like, you know, but you see what I'm saying though? Like, we will burn bridges. We will not look to, fix things. We will not look to double back. We will not look to be the bigger person in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? We look to be.
We don't know how to separate the personal and business because there's a lot of the other cultures. They may not be too fond of each other, but understand each other's value business wise. So it's like, yo, we got to get this work done and we got to keep it going.
I ain't got to fuck with you personally, but business wise, this is beneficial for both of us. And in certain instances, I can't make this happen without you. Yeah. So we need to come together so that we both can benefit. We ain't got to have a cigar afterwards.
Yeah.
But let's get this money.
Right.
And not having that understanding because people get so emotional, especially our Hugh, because like we said, affected more by words, right?
Yeah.
Operate with emotion, burn bridges, right? We got to get out of that. We have to operate better. We have to do better. We have to be better.
Do you guys feel like this is pretty much it for Kanye as far as in, because there's so many people that are on the same page, like, nah, you.
And all right, so here's something that I think is funny, right? Because I feel like you was talking about, you know, Jews and business, and when you think about a lot of people that's in position in power, they are of that descent. They hold a lot of the keys, right? So if you piss off those individuals and they lock you out,
they call it that, not just that individual. They call it their network, like, hey, bro.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
It's like John Wick.
Like with the keys, if they have the keys and they lock you out, right? Then how are you gonna get back in, right? We have to
communicado.
You have to look at something right now, right? He's not on social media anymore, so he lacks influence there.
Him and Trump got kicked out.
His clothes are no more, right? The deals and the distribution and the suppliers and all that stuff has come to an end. The sneaker deal is pretty much donezo, under review. Pretty much donezo, right? You have banks that are not accepting his money, right?
He ain't got his kids.
So at this point, he's running out of resources. He's running out of platforms. He's running out
things to lose.
Options.
You're running out of things to lose.
He's running out of options.
They did this nigga like they did Batman on Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
Just take everything.
It took everything from him.
So I mean, like, you know, to be a billionaire that can't do anything is mind blowing.
My thing is, bro, he gotta stop saying like
It doesn't matter. We're past that now. Yeah. We're past all of that. See, that's what I'm saying. You're focusing on. We're past all that because what he asks is Ye done?
Is he done?
See,
oh yeah.
So that's
yeah,
what we're focusing on now because of everything that has happened because of the limited resources, platforms, opportunities that might be allotted to him, and then so it's almost like asking what's next, right? And when you think about what's next, we can't even answer that question because from where we sit, we're like, damn, right?
It looks nasty.
He's asking for it.
So I mean,
he's asking
at this
for
point,
he's getting what he's asked for.
At this point, he's gonna be like, all right. You know, he's gonna be like his boy. He's gonna be like his boy Trump, because you don't hear too much about Trump. You don't hear anything from Trump. I said about. You don't hear anything from Trump. You rarely hear anything about him.
Yeah,
right.
He just got subpoenaed. That's the only thing I've heard in a minute.
You never see him.
Nope.
And I feel like that is possibly the route for Ye due to everything that has happened. Like, he's going to have to go into seclusion because there's not too many options left, right? So,
because he's just using Candace Owens and she's using him. So it's like the relationship will last. Like he's going to stay over there with them for that long. They're just using each other. The end for him, I can't say it is yet.
I believe
not that. We're in the present, so I would say it's happening.
His influence, it was his most powerful. That was his superpower. His influence. Over the past years, he was not the influence in music.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He was not the major influence in music. You know, he disrespected, my childhood idol with that fucking album. Okay? So that Nas album he did.
Oh. The beats were like
dude.
The 7-song album?
Remember that month he dropped like Nas, Pusha T, Tiana Taylor,
They said there was a reason for that, I think. The money. He was trying to.
And I just feel like he lost the music influence, and then he got into the fashion world, and he just blew up, right? And then
now he's locked out.
He mothballed himself with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what? You don't have your superpower anymore. You don't have your power of influence because you have a small group of people. Like Trump had a small group of people,
right?
But you don't have this majority that you had. Just like it seemed like Trump had a majority at a certain point, right? But you don't have this like majority. Different cultures and people like that, and
so the only that wasn't enough. Then this dude comes out and says Sway had the answers.
Of course, Sway had the answers.
Cut the mics off. We're out of here.
But the commodity, it's the commodity. Like what Kanye has always been known for: music and fashion.
No. He's always been known for music. He got
fashion. What I mean is, when Kanye came out, he dressed differently. He changed the way
he was a fashion influencer when he came out.
First came out,
that's what allowed him to get his foot into the fashion. Yeah.
Because he has fashion sense.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
What else is Kanye known for?
That's why I said I believe he's done.
He doesn't have anything else to give us, but he can continue giving us music. But if the music is lackluster,
who wants to hear anything?
If it's lackluster,
he need to get with Mace and open up this church.
Oh, did you hear the 3-Headed Monster track they had?
He need to get with Mace. Okay.
Mace kind of was spitting, man.
No, he's nice. He's still nice.
He had the best verse on there, I feel like.
Anyway,
he need to get with Mace.
But yeah,
he could do his Sunday services with Mace. Right?
It's over for Sunday services. He's Jewish. You don't
and then
go to
Mace,
church on Sunday.
then Mace can get with Charleston White, and they can do a collaboration on a different type of Mace, and we out of here. All right.
Hold on. Music, real quick.
Yeah, y'all wanted to talk about Gibbs real quick.
Freddie Gibbs album, my favorite album of the year, man, maybe.
What?
You want to save it for next time?
Backwards.
You want to save it?
You can go ahead and give your opinion.
Nah, it's definitely my favorite album right now.
I have not listened. I have not listened to. I have not listened.
Boldy's album I like.
You got a new album?
I was only listening to that and Freddie Gibbs. Boldy's album, probably his best project to me.
Really? Yeah, check that out.
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Well,
yes.
I got some catching up to do.
It's crazy because like the only thing I've been listening to is I've really only been listening to that Gibbs. I've been dabbling with the Larry June album, and then Currency stays in rotation just with the strain. And then
Currency was actually in rotation for me this week.
And I'm still listening to the Kodak Black album, man. I like that guy.
I haven't listened to it.
He got a new little 3-piece out too.
There's this kid from out of Atlanta. I just found out about him a couple days ago. His name is Marco Plus. I'm gonna send you his album.
Marco Dude Plus. How does? Never mind. Go ahead.
He's got the southern kind of accent, obviously, but his rapping skills is like he rapping, bruh.
Marco Plus.
Yeah, the beats, his rapping ability, dope. I definitely like his style. I'll send y'all this shit.
I'll have to send me that.
Anything else new right now?
Babyface released an album.
Babyface Ray?
Nas is coming.
Babyface Ray?
No,
Nas is coming. Nas is coming.
Babyface
Edmund.
Ray?
Nas is coming next month. King's Disease 3.
Man, you know what? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of sick of King's Disease.
Shit. Really?
Well, just because it's like it's the third installment. It's like, nigga, do something else.
Nah, I think the third will be over.
Everybody else do fucking albums. Fucking Lil Wayne got 17 Carters.
Yeah,
right?
and
Jay-Z got hella blueprints and Xeroxes and copies.
And the first blueprint wasn't it.
I could fuck
What? Yeah, we gotta get out of here, bro.
Is it the first one or is it the second one? Whichever one was double disc, that shit.
Yeah, that was the
subpar.
second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Shit.
Was subpar.
Okay.
Yeah, the second one was
Raise
subpar.
my damn blood pressure. I love the first blueprint.
Yeah, Babyface got
Did like takeover for me.
Babyface Ray?
Real Babyface, man.
You talking about
Babyface Ray?
Babyface.
Got a new album?
You got it? Have you heard it?
Yeah.
How you like it?
It's good.
All right.
He has...
All right, listen to that shit.
This your boy, Dizzy D Spill. You've been tuning into the Notion Podcast with my co-host,
Jelani Evans.
Farmer Poe.
And we appreciate you listening, however you listening. Hope you enjoyed the content. We'll have to pick some of this stuff up later on the music tip. But for you, however you're listening, please, if you're listening on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave comments, and we're never shy about you guys giving us conversations and topics so you want to hear our perspectives on. So holler at us on Instagram. We got a TikTok account. We put everything video-wise on YouTube. So tap in with us. Until next time, peace.